I think the Packers are all around outside of receivers. They're a great team. But I think the offense, if they're facing good defense, will get a bit predictable. And that's my biggest concern. I think the Vikings are going to go 12-5. I think they run away with this division. 2 games, they run away with it.
12-5.
Kevin O'Connell, I think, will be a fantastic head coach.
Got to be coach of the year.
Christian Darrisaw has been amazing in camp. Their franchise left tackle. And even though their secondary is a question mark, I like the guys there. I like Patrick Peterson. I like Cameron Dantzler. I like the Zadarius Smith addition. If Danielle Hunter can stay healthy with Dalvin Tomlinson, I mean, that is one of the best front sevens in football. You have Eric Kendricks added on to there.
Harrison Smith.
Yeah, exactly. I'm not even talking about their safety doing Lewis Seen and Harrison Smith.
Andrew Booth also
I
drafted.
think the Vikings will win this division. I'm going with Skull.
I like it.
I got to see the defense
like
before I can go.
Oh, woo!
I got to see the defense first before I can go all in. So as I speak in my preseason predictions, it's with not understanding how this defense is going to perform. Last season, there were expectations.
And they got Jalen Reagor. Forgot about that.
Hey,
Big pickup.
low key, they're righting their wrongs. Oh, no, excuse me.
You know how he actually
they got Cheddar, so.
how he came out and he was like, I regret that pick.
That's what
Shocker.
that's what I was referring to.
Shocker,
Getting a
right?
4th for him is a steal.
Word.
That was
how,
a come up.
how
Word.
inconsiderate is he?
No, he's right. That was the dumbest pick I've ever seen in my life. Jettas is sitting right there. Fucking, excuse my language.
Sorry,
Clown.
man. You've been cursing all show either way, so
No,
it
but
doesn't matter.
goddamn,
Yeah, I
bro,
know, it was a
like,
bad one.
that's pain.
It was a bad one.
He made up for it.
No,
You have AJ Brown and Devonta Smith. You're cash.
you would have had.
Bro, we're
Jettas.
talking about a receiving core that features Jefferson, Adam Thielen, KJ Osborne, and Jalen
You could have
Reagor.
Jettas.
Receiving core's
KJ
hot.
Osborne is wide receiver 3.
I like that.
Not Jalen Reagor.
I like that.
Yeah, you know we could have had Jettas and still got AJ Brown.
Possibly. But if you have Jettas, who knows if you make a trade for AJ Brown?
You still, I'm just letting you know.
You
we
don't.
still-
Wide
You'd have,
receiver's
you'd have
not a need
Jettas.
anymore.
You'd have Jettas and Devontae.
We wouldn't,
Kiss
but we
me,
might not have had
brother.
Devontae.
True.
No, you would have. Unless
Not-
you guys.
Unless you get
think guys would
Jettas,
be
you don't
amazing.
draft
You don't-
Tate next year.
That's what I'm saying. You get Jettas, we might not be at the same spot.
Probably not.
See, logic. But we can still trade for AJ.
Hey,
AJ Brown and Jettas would be
Hey.
insane.
Exactly, but
Hey.
he said we had to give the bum away.
he's trying to talk.
Oh my
Thanks,
fault.
bro. I
dude.
appreciate that.
Trying to talk.
So
your thing, bro.
honestly,
Be
I
respectful.
wasn't interrupting you, but I appreciate that, Joel.
respectful.
Keep us on task. The Bears, yes, unfortunately, do not have a great roster at all. And I'm pulling for my guy, Justin Fields. I absolutely am hoping for the best for him. He's going to be running for his life because this offensive line is not good. They have minimal weapons outside of our boy, Darnell Mooney and Cole Kmet. David Montgomery is also in a peculiar situation because in this offseason, it's looking as if they're just trying not to pay him also. So Khalil Herbert now is getting into the mix as well. They're experimenting with David Montgomery and special teams. This is just only helping my case with the conspiracy theory between Allen Robinson now, because now this is going to be another guy who is one of their sole production, one of their sole weapons that give them production in David Montgomery. And it's just seeming as if there's another guy. I don't blame him. It's the running back position.
Different
Field it.
offense.
You saw the report
True.
that the coaches are curious if he fits in the
his
offense.
scheme. Yes, which I guess we're going to have to wait and see to see what's up. But
Cole
ultimately,
Kmet?
Cole Kmet.
Kmet.
Cole
Kmet.
Kmet,
Yes,
okay.
no. Cole
Kmet.
Kmet.
K-Met.
Stop.
Why are you doing this?
Huh?
Anyways, Justin Fields, I think, is going to play good enough
Kmet.
and prove himself to be a franchise quarterback. And I think that it'll allow the team to focus on other needs. Because if he doesn't play well and they are one of the worst teams in the league, then they're going to be looking for Bryce Young and or C.J. Stroud to come take his spot. I'm personally a Bryce Young guy, but you can make the case for either one. I just think that Fields is not going to have to worry about that because he will prove that he is one of the leaders, one of the best players on this team. Now, to go into third place, it's going to be, unfortunately, the Lions. And the Lions are one of those teams that, not that I think that they'll be a wild card team. I think that that's definitely an overachievement for them, similar to the Eagles last season. But I don't think they're going to be the Eagles of last season. I just think that this defense is not nearly good enough to be in that wild card spot. But I think that this team will take a step in the right direction towards next year for there to be some optimism. You have Jameson Williams, who hasn't even been active in camp at all. And Jared Goff is the quarterback of this team. Until then, I like Jared Goff. I think you guys said it very well, though. He's a very limited quarterback. Amon-Ra, I have super high expectations for. I don't look at last season as a fluke just because Hawkinson and Chark, or excuse me, not Chark, I apologize. Hawkinson and
Swift.
And Swift, thank you very much. We're injured. No, I think Amon-Ra is the truth, and I think that he will continue to show that this upcoming season. In second place, I have Minnesota, man. Until I see the defense prove me that they can be one of the better defense in the league to pair with one of the better offenses in the league, I think this offense is going to be one of the best we have. Jettas, Thielen, as long as Thielen can stay healthy, is a touchdown machine. Jettas, of course, we don't need to explain it. He could be the best receiver in football. And you don't even doubt that. Dalvin Cook's one of the best running backs in the league. This offensive line is improved this offseason. Kirk Cousins has been underrated these past couple seasons and is getting put towards the back burner because his team hasn't been very active in the playoff. He was brought here.
He's underrated or properly rated?
I think he's getting to a point where he's underrated.
Do we all agree he's a top 14 quarterback here?
Yes.
I think that he's definitely closer to 10 than he is to 14.
10?
I don't think that makes
So
sense.
okay, I see him, Carr, and Dak in the same tier. Like those three are hard to
you
for
could
me to
take
decide.
you could take
Wait. That doesn't make sense. He can't. What do you mean? That means you have him at 11.
It's
If he's closer to
between-
10 than 14, you have him
you
at
could put him at
11.
12 though either way.
12 is
Same
even,
thing.
so it
I
wouldn't
understand.
make.
No, I definitely get what you're saying, but no.
It's just you messed me up.
That's
That's
fine.
why.
And listen, I'm also taking into account minus Deshaun. Of course, once Deshaun here,
Oh,
then that
okay.
statement's incorrect. However, this season, Kirk Cousins can have a top 10 season, given the
Statistical
offense.
season, yeah.
Absolutely, statistical. I just think that you look at Kirk Cousins, people just saw the season that Derek Carr had because his team made the playoffs. They're just easily going to lean Derek Carr. I think that Kirk Cousins,
I think most people put Dak over him too, probably.
and I understand that, to be honest with you. Dak Prescott is just a dual threat type of guy and has shown to be a consistent playoff maker, even though his division hasn't been that great. I think that the reason why Kirk is getting overlooked is because he hasn't had the team winning success. And I think that changes this year. I think they are a playoff team, a wild card team, though. If the defense is as good as it can be, then they can win this division. But as of right now, I have them in number 2 and number 1, Green Bay Packers. This could be comparable to not as obviously dominant on the defensive side of the ball because the 2016 Broncos are one of the best defenses to ever play the game. But this defense can be great enough that it
Legion of
backpacks.
Doom vibes?
No. Our Broncos defense was better than theirs.
Yeah, I agree. That's why I was going to the next best thing.
It could be that. It could be great. It could just
What
be
about,
amongst the
New
best
England,
defenses in the
what was it,
league.
New England like 2019
Against the Rams?
Yeah.
Fake. That's not a back. That's actually a really good comparison. The only issue is that Belichick's the defensive mind.
Yeah,
of it.
just
I just think the
talent-wise.
talent
Yeah,
they
yeah.
have is great enough that it could definitely bode them well in some matchups that are 50-50, and Rodgers just does enough to get them to win. Because Aaron Jones and A.J. Dillon are going to kill a bunch of clock. They're going to be amazing this season. Both of them, I firmly believe. And the wide receiver position, Aaron Rodgers is just good enough to pick 1, 2 to get involved in the offense that they'll do enough to win games. I do have them winning 12 games. I look at the schedule, and I just favor them a ton over a bunch of other matchups. And I think that this is their division to lose.
Kirk Cousins is underrated because people believe that he's closer to Jimmy Garoppolo than he is to Dak Prescott and Derek
That's not
Carr.
true. Yeah, that's just not true.
I know, but I think that's what public
You think?
perception has become of Kirk
'Cause
Cousins.
I feel like his stats are always so good that people realize he's a really good
I feel like
quarterback.
public perception is, Jimmy Garoppolo is winning more than Kirk. I'd rather have Jimmy.
I think that at this table, we acknowledge that Kirk Cousins is better than what
Yeah.
people let off. So maybe in here, we don't recognize him
both.
as overrated. Sure. But a lot of people just look at Kirk Cousins and just think that, is that Ryan Tannehill? Right? They like that
hear you.
would have been
Is he just a
something
numbers
that would have
guy,
been a
doesn't
little
win, stuff like that.
that is he really elevating your team? I think Kirk Cousins definitely needs respect on his name.
For me, Chicago, Justin Fields' agenda, Darnell Mooney, I love them, but they're just not going to be good. The team isn't good, but they have a good amount of young talent so far. We mentioned them, Cole Kmet, Darnell Mooney, Justin Fields. Going to Detroit, I think Detroit is probably going to be one of the most exciting offenses in the league from a young perspective. I think they have Jameson Williams, Amon St. Brown, pardon me, Rob Brown. What's how you say it? Amon-Ra St.
Brown.
Brown.
There you go.
Cool. Nice ass name. TJ Hawkinson, I think even Penei Sewell, is that how you say his name? On the offensive line. They just have a lot of young talent. Defensively, they won't be good. Jared Goff is not that good. But looking at the wide receiver, the tight end room, even the running back room, it's young, exciting, it's fresh.
Absolutely.
So I think they'll be good. They'll be the third
like
team.
a puppy and stay on the porch.
Yeah.
Let the big dogs eat.
Yes, sir.
You know who said that? You watch Hard Knocks?
No. No. Did not watch
Dude, that's
Hard
one of the
Knocks.
quotes of the year. I'm not even going to lie to you.
Hard Knocks. You know how to watch TV that much.
Do you know what I'm talking about?
You talk about the Hard Knocks with they film the football teams and
Yes,
stuff like that.
thank
Yeah,
God.
you know how to watch
Thank
TV
you,
like
Riv.
that. Come on, bro. They'll be the third best team. For me, number 2, Green Bay. You know, I think.
Really?
Yeah,
Minnesota number 1.
Yeah, I have.
Stop listening to this guy, man.
I don't hate it.
I don't know what he
hate
said.
it.
Like, I don't know what he's thinking when he walks in here. He's a wild card. I just stopped trying to figure out what he thinks. So, no,
You are.
you
are a wild
I just
card.
let him come in, whatever he says, and all right, that's what I got to figure out. No, I have Green Bay at 2 because I think their defense is going to be elite. But offensively, you know, losing Devontae Adams, that's a huge loss. The wide receiver room, they could cost the same way how you say the defense can get them some wins. That wide receiver room can cost them a few games. It's young, it's inexperienced outside of Randall Cobb. You know, Allen Lazard is good, but can he be a true number 1? I don't know. Aaron Rodgers loved Devontae Adams out there. The running back room is good. Aaron Jones, he has some experience, but I'm not in love with this offense. I think when you look at the Vikings from a team perspective, I think top to bottom, they're just a better team. I am projecting that defensively they will be healthy, and this group has the talent to be a great defense, an elite defense. They just need to put it all together, be healthy, and then offensively, I know how I feel about Jettis. I ooze every day for that man. So you know how I feel about Jettis. Adam Thielen, he's still really
Jettis
really
best
good.
Receiver in the league, number 1.
Yeah. Oh no, I was gonna say they have the best receiver in the NFL. I think Jettis is the best. They have Kirk Cousins. They have Adam Thielen. They have one of the best running backs, probably like top 4, top 5, top 3 if I really think about it in the football. So it's like, what's there to think of? The Vikings are the best team in the NFC North. The only thing that's stopping them is injuries and maybe. For Aaron Rodgers to win the division, I think he has to have another MVP-like season. I think he has to kind of put that offense on his back. Me personally,
the defense can be great enough that it still wins ball games, and you have Aaron Rodgers as your quarterback.
I agree.
You're gonna be copacetic.
They'll be good. I still have them making the playoffs. Let me say that.
Look, I think the Packers' defense is going to be great. There's no doubt. But on that defensive line, there isn't a guy that you look at and you're like, that's a game changer. That's one of the top 5 edge rushers in football. Rashawn Gary is great.
I was going to say, Rashawn Gary is very fun.
But he's not Myles Garrett. He's not T.J. Watt. He's not on that level. And then you look at the linebackers, like Devondre Campbell had an all-pro season.
What about Jair Alexander?
He's
going up to the left.
Then linebackers, DeAndre Campbell had an all-pro level season, but that was 1 year out of how many out of 8 he's been in the league. Like, are we just going to pencil him in as an all-pro performer? He has to prove it again. It's
facts.
He was all world last season.
But I do like their secondary.
And then Kenny Clark is a good player too. They have good players on that defense. Jair is the only guy I look at on that defense that pencil him in, elite level, top 3 player at his position. Everybody else is really good to great, but they don't have the game changers on defense like the Niners or the Rams have all around. Or even the Chargers. I don't think they have as many elite level players as the Chargers.
That secondary is
a different conference.
That secondary is underrated though. You got Douglas, you got Stokes, you got Jair leading the charge.
Douglas is somebody else.
Phenomenal cornerback room.
Douglas is somebody else that came into the Packers last year and played really well. But before that was really,
he was nothing.
He was a CB4, CB5, exactly.
I love you guys for putting Minnesota first. I personally can't do it, but I like the commitment to do that. Be different from the norms. My voice just cracked.
Dude, what's going on? It's like 3 times so far.
Kiss me, brother.
I'm like 15 again.
Going through puberty?
I think the Packers are going to win the division. I think it's going to be close, but Drew, you said it perfectly. If you have an elite defense, you have Aaron Rodgers, you have LaFleur, I'm going to trust them to get it done in the regular season. Once we get to the playoffs, it's going to be a different conversation because I do think you need to have an elite outside weapon to really be able to succeed in the playoffs and in this league just the way the NFL is going. The Packers are too good, in my opinion, and too experienced in the playoffs, in the regular season, getting number 1 seeds and coaching and quarterback play to not be the number 1 team. I have them with 11 wins. I do have the Vikings in second with 10 wins. The Kevin O'Connell signing or hiring I thought was phenomenal. It was obvious Zimmer's time was well past in Minnesota. Him and Kirk Cousins did not have a good relationship. O'Connell and Cousins are going to have a phenomenal relationship. I think it's already been documented that they've got off to better footing than him and Mike Zimmer did, him being Kirk Cousins. And with the offensive weapons, they're going to be great. You guys are sold on their defense. It seems like they'll be better than last year, for sure. I have to wait and see for them to really become this top 15 level defense. I feel like you guys are kind of have them around that area. I do like the draft picks of Lewis Cine and Andrew Booth. That should really boost up their secondary. So I'm excited for the Vikings. I'm just not sold on their defense.
You trust in Aaron. I get it.